Excellencies, honorable ministers, distinguished colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is a privilege to join you at the Silver Jubilee of the World Sustainable Development Summit, a platform that for 25 years has convened leaders to shape the global sustainability agenda. We meet at a decisive moment. The first global stocktake reminds us that we are far off track. Emissions must fall by 43% by 2030, yet current commitment will deliver only 2%. Of the 169 SDG targets, only 13% are on track. These are not just statistics, they are a call to transformation. As the 2030 Agenda declares, we are determined to take the bold and transformative steps needed to shift the world onto a sustainable path. Transformation is not incremental adjustment. It is, in the words of the United Nations Sustainability Analysis, a change that alters the fundamental attributes of a system, its incentives, institutions, and value system. Forests sit at the very heart of that transformation. Forests are our natural climate infrastructure. They regulate water, stabilize soils, buffer extreme weathers, and absorb carbon. But they are also economic and social systems. Over 1 billion people depend directly on forests for their livelihoods. Forest landscapes are where climate resilience, biodiversity conservation, and poverty eradication intersect. If we fail to protect forests, we undermine not only climate goals, but food security, water security, and social stability. As the sustainability report reminds us, nature and people are too often treated as externalities in economic decision-making. That must change. The transformations require mutual reinforcing, social, justice, investment flows, economic structures, and resource use must evolve together. Forest policy cannot sit in isolation from finance, trade, or community development. Integrated land use planning, sustainable value chain, payments for ecosystem services, and community-based forest management are not side initiatives. They are a central pillar of a nature-positive economy. We must also confront inequality. Inequality is not inevitable. As young voices remind us, it is the result of policy choices. Forest-dependent communities, especially women, youth, and indigenous peoples, must be at the center of those choices. Inclusive forest governance strengthens resilience. Secure land tenure reduces deforestation. Equitable benefit sharing supports peace and prosperity. Strengthened multilateral cooperation is indispensable. No country can secure climate resilience or biodiversity recovery alone. Forest ecosystem, commodity supply chains, and climate impacts transcend borders. Regional and global platforms such as World Sustainable Development Summit create the space for allying vision, voices, and values exactly as this year's theme invites us to do. The UN analysis is clear. Government must foster top-down policy reform while scaling bottom-up innovation. This requires reforming incentives, aligning finance with sustainability, and building governance capacity for transformation. The United Nations Forum on Forests stands ready to advance this agenda. As the only universal intergovernmental body dedicated to forests, UNFF supports member states in implementing the UN Strategic Plan for Forests 2030, integrating across climate, biodiversity, and development frameworks. We promote sustainable forest management, strengthen monitoring and accountability, mobilize partnerships, and elevate forests within global financing debate. Going forward, we must mainstream forests into climate and development finance, strengthen science policy interface to track environmental limits, scale community-based and right-based forest governance, align investments flow towards sustainable land use and forest-positive supply chain, and reinforce multilateral solidarity around nature-positive growth. The Silver Jubilee of WSDS is not only a celebration of dialogue, it is a call to delivery. Forests offer us a pathway to resilience, equity, and long-term prosperity. If we align vision, voices, and values, if we integrate forests, biodiversity, and livelihoods, if we strengthen multilateral cooperation, then transformation is within reach. Let this summit mark not just 25 years of convening, but a renewed global commitment to place forests at the center of climate resilience, sustainable development, and inclusive growth. Thank you.